This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in our previous class, we understood what Pega is and what Pega can do. Okay, so finally we understood that Pega is something where we can able to implement some kind of applications. Generally, every project will be having two types of applications, right? One second. Okay. So in our previous class, we understood Pega is used to develop some kind of applications. And for every project, there will be two types of applications. Those are internal and as well as external. So consider one organization like Citibank. And here, if you wanted to develop any implementation for that, there will be something related to loans, and one application may be related to credit card, and maybe something related to salary management, whatever. So as an Pega developer, you are supposed to join some company and you are supposed to implement this application. And in this process, you are supposed to understand some kind of reusability is what we thought, right? So day one, you join one company and your business analyst, they will be giving you one document. And according to that, you have to develop application one, two, or three. So here, to develop this, you have to first understand the scope. So if anything looks more reusable, we understood that this has to be maintained in something like a framework. So every organization, it will be having with some framework, and that has to be connected with multiple implementations. Okay, so this is something like framework, and for that it will be connected with implementation 1, 2, and 3. So when you are working on this first application, you have to think whether the things are reusable or not. If it looks reusable, create it in the framework and from there use it into first and then second likewise. And all these are called implementation applications, and this is something called framework application. So every project maintaining framework is strongly recommended, but it is not mandatory. Okay, so for every organization, framework is strongly recommended. So consider today we are starting one bank, maybe something like ABC. So consider we're starting an organization, something like ABC. And since this being a startup, we wanted to have only one implementation for today. Maybe we are starting only for credit card. Let us consider. Even for this, it is recommended to maintain one framework. Okay, so whatever the things looks useful here, you can straight away create it and use it. No, you can straight away create it here and use it. But maybe after 1 year or 2 years, if you wanted to improve the business, or if you wanted to create one more application maybe like loans, by that time if you are having something like framework, then this will be easy for us, no? So that is the reason every organization, it is strongly recommended to maintain at least one framework. It is recommended to maintain at least one framework. Okay, that is what recommended. And based on the project complexity, we can have n number of frameworks also. So consider SBI organization. So consider one organization like SBI. And generally, if we go to SBI organization today, maybe I can have requirement related to loans. Then people will ask me to go to counter number one. And if we want some requirement related to credit card, they'll ask us to go to counter number two. Okay. And if you're looking for gold loans, they'll ask us to go for counter number three, right? Meaning our organization is having three implementations in this case. Maybe loans, credit card, and something related to accounts. Along with this, SBI organization is having vehicle insurance and something like medical insurance also. So consider our organization is having insurance related to medical and one application related to vehicle. Okay, so these two applications are also belonging to this organization itself. Okay, fine. So day one, your client, okay, your SBA client, they will be purchasing license from Pega Systems team. We know all these things, we understood. So day one, your client will be getting license from Pega Systems team, and after that, he will be deciding that he wants 4 implementations or 5 implementations or 10. Then business analyst, they will come to picture. They will be segregating the things. So business analyst will think like these three are of one sector. Maybe these two comes under something related to insurance, and maybe there can be something related to, for SBI they can be something related to or some other thing, whatever. So our client, he will be just saying that he wants these many implementations. Then our business analyst, they will be segregating the things. So business analysts, they will think like these three comes under banking. Okay, so if there is anything common for these three, better to maintain with one framework, right? So here business analyst, they will be deciding the structure in this way. SBI as organization, and for that let us maintain with one framework related to banking, and there can be one framework related to insurance, and under banking there can be one implementation application, second one, and third one. And here there can be one application related to medical and one application related to vehicle. So in this way they will try to divide the things. Okay, so day one, if you join some company, maybe this is credit card, maybe, and this is loans, and maybe this is something like savings account. So consider your application structure is like this. Okay, so day one, once you join your company, your business analyst, they will ask you, or your manager, they will ask you to work on so and so application. So today you will join some company, right? Maybe Capgemini or TCS. And then what will happen? You will be assigned with some client. Maybe SBI or some Citibank is your client. So once you join, your manager, he will ask you to work on this portal number one or portal number two, whatever. So based on this, day one, once you log in here, you are supposed to ask for business analyst document. They will give you the document, and according to that you are supposed to develop. So first of all, you have to understand about your application structure. No? So you have to understand something about your application structure. So whether your application, this one, is having any above framework or not. If it is having with framework, you will create all the reusable things here, and then you will use it here. Okay, if it is not having framework, you will straight away create it here and use it. So point here is, day one, once you join the company, you have to ask your manager to give the application structure. Understanding, right? So you have to ask for the application structure. So if you know the application structure, then only you can proceed with the best standards. Suppose once you logged into this credit card application, if you don't know that there is framework, what you will do? Everything you'll straight away create it here only. No? Even though if it looks like reusable everywhere, you'll straight away create it here, which is not the correct way of design. Okay, so before you work on anything, you have to understand what is the application structure. So whether our application is having framework or not, if it is having one more framework or not. So that structure generally you have to get. Okay, so for that it will be looking like in one small flowchart kind of. So on the day one itself, you have to ask your manager to share this application structure. Okay, fine. Maybe After this 3 months or 4 months course is complete, you'll start putting your resume, right? Maybe Naukri or somewhere. Then you'll start attending for interviews. Okay, so there in the interviewer, he might ask you, can you please draw your application structure? So if you're going like a fresher, no problem. So some people, they'll be thinking like going with 3 years or 4 years experience. No, in that scenario, your interviewer, he might ask you to show the to draw and show me application structure. So what you will do? So you will just try to draw in this way. So your organization maybe framework, and for that these will be the things. So if you draw in this way, then he'll ask you to explain something about credit card or loans or account, some random application. So here maybe in the credit card there will be a feature that is like, suppose if I go to bank as a customer and ask for a credit card, then the application what they are using, the employees, the application what they are using, they will be asking for my PAN card number. No, so in the application, once they ask for my PAN card number, click on submit button, they will be getting my CIBIL score, we know that. So based on the CIBIL score, they will decide whether I am eligible for credit card or not. That is what generally happens. So how did you implement this functionality that they will ask you in your interviews? So for this, what you will say? So we have just dragged and drop one text box and a button. And if I enter some PAN card number, hit on submit button, we got CIBIL score. From where we will get CIBIL score generally? So CIBIL score is not related to SBI's database. So this is something related to maybe RBI, whatever, government, right? Indian government. Consider something related to RBI. So what is happening? If we click on this submit button, our application is interacting with something like RBI application and getting out the data. No, that is what happening, right? So why did you not draw that structure in this paper? That is what they'll ask. Okay, so application structure in the sense completely related to your internal design as well as the application what is interacting with the external system, and from there how they are getting. So all these things you have to clearly draw and show them. Consider one more example. So daily you will be getting n number of calls asking for credit card. So we'll get a call saying like, we're calling from HDFC, do you want credit card or not? These calls will get, right? And these calls generally HDFC people will not call. Generally HDFC employees are not doing this. So some external consultancy is working for HDFC only. That is what we know, right? So consider this is some consultancy like ABC, and consider this as our HDFC main organization. Okay, so if I directly go for HDFC bank, ask for an credit card, then their design will be, they'll ask for PAN card number. If they click on search button, they will be getting CIBIL score, right? What is happening on this button click? They are interacting with third party system, maybe RBI. From here they are pulling out the data. This we know, because this CIBIL data is not related to any bank. So this is something independent. Fine. So daily you will be getting call from these kind of consultancy. So they'll ask you whether you are looking for credit card or not. Suppose if you say yes, then they'll ask for your PAN card number. No? So if they ask for PAN card, if you, suppose if you share PAN card number, maybe 123, even then they can give the score. So your score is 800, you are eligible or you are not eligible. How are they getting? So this is not a bank, no. ABC is just a consultancy. This is not a bank. Meaning this application will not be connected with our main server, RBI. What is happening here? So this application, once I enter 123, this is interacting with this HDFC here. And from here, it will be going like a request here. From there, we'll get response, and from here, they'll get the response. Okay. So consider if you are working in the HDFC as an Pega developer. So you have to include this part as well as this part in your application structure or design. Okay, straight away you should not draw like organization, framework 1, framework 2, 3 implementations or 4 implementations. So this implementation, organization, maybe framework, and 3 implementations. One more framework, 2 implementations. So this implementation is connected for this one, and from here we are connecting with one more external system. Each and everything should be clearly mentioned. So this is how application structure is to be designed. So this whole design on the day one, your business analyst they will do. So consider I am client. Consider I am running one bank like HDFC. Day one, I thought all my implementations to be developed using Pega. What I'll do, I'll just put some amount, get the license from Pega systems. I'll get Pega license there. After that, consider this as our HDFC, whatever the bank, and we'll be getting license from Pega systems. And after that, we will be handovering this to some software company, maybe Capgemini or TCS, whatever, for the development. That is what we know, right? Okay, fine. So consider this as our Capgemini company. You joined here as a Pega developer. Okay, fine. So day one, your client, when he is purchasing license from the Pega systems team, and when he is handovering this to so and so software company, he will be having only two things in his mind. Those two things are, what should be the budget? Okay, consider he is thinking like 10 applications to be developed completely, maybe 5 related to banking and 5 related to insurance, whatever. So here he will be thinking that only two things. So these all 10 applications should be developed in 1 year. All these 10 applications budget is this amount. So he'll be having only two things, that is timeline, and the next one is budget. Okay, next one is budget. So here, based on these two things, your business analyst comes into picture. Your business analyst, they will be deciding all the application structure. So there are 10 applications here, right? So maybe for the first 5, let us maintain one framework. Maybe next to 2, let us maintain one framework. And for remaining 3, let us maintain one framework. This is how your business analyst will be designing the structure. As a developer, you'll never be involved in this structure design. So your business analyst, they will be designing how the structure should be. Based on that, so consider this as framework, and this is another framework, and this is another framework, and maybe this as implementation 1, implementation 2, implementation 3, and this is 4, 5. So we can have structure in this way also. So we can have structure in this way. Consider this as our organization, Citibank. So for Citibank, there is one wing related to banking and one wing related to insurance. So this is credit card. Okay, maybe this is loans. So you joined some company as a credit card developer. Okay, as a credit card developer. And here, before you develop anything, you have to know the structure, right? So anyway, your business analyst, they will be designing by this time, and your manager, they will be sharing this structure. Based on this, you are supposed to design. So consider there is something like first name to be implemented here. So there is something like first name to be showing up. Where we'll create that? Okay, so there is one main framework like 1, and this is 2, this is 3. Okay, so you are supposed to design something like credit card application, and your business analyst, they are giving you one mock-up. first name, last name, age, all these things. So where you will create this first name, last name? Where you have to create? Tell me.
In main framework, first one.
Main framework mean first one. So if we create it here, what will happen? So these things will be used into second framework as well as into third framework, and from here it will be used here, right? From here it will be used. Okay, fine. And consider there is something like PAN card number. So you have to show something in the something in the credit card application like PAN card number. Where you will create that? Maybe PAN card number might be used only in the banking applications. Then you have to create something in this framework too, no? If you create it here, it will be equally used here and here and here. So consider you are working on this application. Maybe this is medical insurance and this is vehicle insurance. So you wanted to create something like hospital number or hospital ID. Where you will create that? Hmm? So you will straight away create it in the implementation. Ante kada? So you'll straight away create it here. And suppose if you wanted to show something like policy number, where you will create? So third framework. So policy number looks reusable for entire insurance applications. So based on your project structure, there can be more than one framework. So if there is anything common in all the implementations, better to maintain one topmost framework, no? So we are maintaining one topmost framework. So consider maybe after 1 year, today this is your structure, maybe after 1 year your structure is like, in the vehicle insurance let us maintain two-wheeler insurance separately, four-wheeler and heavy vehicle. So after 2 years your design is being changed. So your client is asking you to maintain three different implementations for insurance, maybe one for two-wheeler separately, four-wheeler separately and heavy vehicle. What you'll do then? How the design should be? So this is your current design. After 2 years your client is asking you to change. What you have to do? So under insurance you are supposed to maintain one more framework, and this is something like vehicle insurance. And for this there can be something related to two-wheeler and something related to four-wheeler and something related to heavy vehicle. So if there is anything common in all these three, you can straight away create it here, no? And then, so if there is something like vehicle registered number to be used, so where you will create? Will you be creating it in the main one? If you create it in the main one, that vehicle number will be used in the medical insurance also, which is not actually required. So you can straight away maintain the things segregated in this way. Okay. So without using single framework also you can get the same output, and by using this kind of best design also you will be getting the same output. But ultimately there should be something like compliance score. I told you in the previous class. So for each and every application, there will be something like compliance score. Compliance score in the sense the best standards, how much you are following. So if you are not following the best standards, compliance score will be reduced and hence performance will be poor. Okay, suppose this is organization, implementation 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe this is insurance. Tomorrow, if your client is asking you to add two more vehicle insurance, then if you create it like an fifth one or sixth one, then also it will work. You can get the output. So if you get the output, that is enough. No? As a developer, if I'm developing, getting some output, so who will see how I did designed here? Testing team, they will not know what Pega is. Okay, so once I develop some application, this has to be tested, right? Testing team will not know how I implemented this. So they will be just checking for the output. They will just see whether everything is correct or not. So do we have any problem with them? So will we get any problem with them? No. They'll be just checking for the output, that's it. And maybe business analyst, they also might not have complete technical knowledge. So they can also just check for the output and for some timelines whether everything is going in correct time or not. So they will also will be happy now. If I'm not following best standards here, but still if I'm getting output, with whom will be having problem? Not directly with the client, as I told you. So client, once they're getting license from Pega Systems team, one support person will be there from Pega Systems. Okay, one dedicated person from the Pega Systems, he will be continuously working with us, I told you. So suppose if there is one high level meeting where everyone has to attend, at least one person from the team has to attend. If that is the scenario, one client person will attend the meeting, client, okay, and one person from the development, and one person from the testing team, and maybe one person from deployment in the sense, as I told you, once our code is designed, once we are designing everything, this has to be moving to the next servers. Today you are sitting your Capgemini company and developing. Ultimately, this has to be reaching to the bank servers. No, bank employees has to use this, right? Meaning deployment has to be happening. Maybe one person from the deployment team also can attend the meeting. And along with all these things, there will be one person from Pega Systems team also. So Pega support team person also will join. So we'll be facing problem with this guy. So he will all the time check for the best standards whether used or not. How testing team is doing, how development team is doing, each and everything he will be involved. So here his involvement is very much important because client. So client, they are spending lot of amount for getting this Pega license. Okay, and once he is getting that much of once he is getting license for that amount, if he is not getting proper output, if he's not getting proper output, then client will be thinking like waste of using Pega. No, client will be thinking that what for I going for Pega, affording this much of cost, but still I'm not getting proper output, proper speed. Then Pega Systems team will be blamed here, right? So that is the reason one person from the Pega Systems team, they will be continuously involved in each and every meeting, and there they will be checking for our compliance score, everything. They need not check for screen 1 how did we design, screen 2, screen 3, they cannot individually check everything. Finally they will be checking for something called score. If the score is not good, then they will be asking the manager, development manager, so why your score is not good? Then your manager, what he has to do, he will check for the reason why score is not good. Suppose score is showing something like 85, then there will be reason also. So because of so and so developer, the score has been reduced. And he will ask the developer, why did you design in this way? So why can't you design in that way? So why can't you create it there and use it for a number of times? Did you check for our application structure clearly or not? So all these questions comes into picture. So that is the reason from the day one itself, from the business analyst or from the client, they will be designing everything perfectly. So first they have to design this application structure. Okay, so your business analyst, they will be deciding these things. Okay, so day one, once the project is started, as a developer, your involvement will not be there. Okay, as a developer, your involvement will not be there. So some kind of application design or structure has to be done. Okay, fine. And here, business analyst, they will come to the development team. So client getting license from Pega Systems team, and they will come to so and so company like Capgemini, and they will be saying like client wants 10 applications to be developed and maybe within 1 year of time. This is what business analyst comes to us. And here as a developer, you have to think, you have to just think whether these 10 applications will be completed in this 1 year or not. Suppose if client is saying like 1 year of time, okay, consider client is saying like 1 year of time for this. So 1 year of time in the sense, not 1 year completely for the development. So 1 year is not completely for the development. From the client perspective, 1 year meaning from today, the next 1 year, it has to be going to the production. That is what client prospect. So out of this, there will be n number of phases now. So from today in the next 1 year, there will be multiple phases. Development phase will be there. Testing phase will be there. Deployment, UAT, n number of phases will be there. So 1 year time in the sense 1 year for complete deployment. And maybe in this 1 year, development team can get time up to maybe 3 months or 4 months. So development team can get time up to 4 months, consider. So in this 4 months of time, whether we can develop these projects or not, that is what you have to think. So client will simply say like, I want these 5 projects or 10 projects within this 1 year. Business analyst, he will come to us saying the same, and you have to analyze. So development phase will be like 4 months here, and within these 4 months, we cannot complete these 4 projects or 5 projects. That is what you have to analyze and say. So if you don't analyze and if you just commit with this, you will be in the problem. So you will be in the danger. So day one analysis is very much important. Day one analysis is very much important. So here there will be one development manager, maybe with 4-member team. Consider there is one team, development team, and they will try to analyze what is the application number one and how complicated it is. Second one, third one, fourth one, likewise. After you analyzing each and everything, you will say like, we want minimum 6 months of time for this. Based on that criticality, you will be giving some estimates, right? Suppose if you are saying like 6 months, then your business analyst, again they will go back to the client and say like, development team is asking for 6 months for this. If development alone is 6 months, whole project might take 1.5 years. That is what business analyst will convey to the client. So if client is okay, then fine. If client is not okay, he'll say like, I want this in 1 year only. So can you please load the development team? Load in the sense, maybe we are having 4-member development team. Instead of 4 members, just try to increase the team size to 8 members or 10 members. So increase the team size, but I want this in 4 months itself, or I want this in 1 year itself. This is what he will say. So what is happening? Maybe your current development team size is 4, and for the next 1 year, client is asking to increase the size maybe to 10. So he'll say like, I'm okay for paying these 10 members for next 1 year. That is what he'll say. So then your development manager, what he has to do, he has to look for 6 more resources, no? And this is urgent requirement, right, for him. Then your development manager, he will be talking to his HR asking for global recruitment. Okay, so he will be asking for some kind of 6 more extra resources. Then you'll be getting some kind of recruitment notification from the company saying like immediate requirement or immediate hiring. So if there is something like immediate hiring, this should be the scenario. So maybe in the Naukri or somewhere, you'll be getting lot many notifications saying like immediate requirement. Okay, so if you just go for an interview for that, then they'll say like, we are having it like immediate requirement. Then you are supposed to ask them 2 questions. So the first question is like, is this contract position or not, or permanent position? So in this situation, client wants these 6 members only for maybe next to 1 year. That's it, right? Next only for 1 year or 6 months, that's it. Meaning after 6 months, after that period, client will not pay for these extra candidates. No? In that scenario, this will be contract position only. No? This will be contract position. But here, these recruiters will not say that this is for 6 months only or this is for 1 year only. They will not say that. Why? If they say will not join, ante kada. So they'll not say. So day one, once you start applying for some company, you have to first ask them, is this permanent position or temporary position? Even though it is temporary position, they will not say the same. They will say like, this project will be there for 6 months. Post that, based on your performance, it will be extended, or we'll try to map to some other company. In this way, they'll try to convey. They'll not straight away say like after 6 months, client will not pay the billing, you will be released, or you will not be paid anything from our end. These things they'll not ask. They'll not say. We know that. So here point is like contract positions comes into picture. In every technology or in every project, contract positions comes into picture. So contract positions in the sense for short period of time, and for this short period of time they'll pay more, they'll pay huge. Okay, fine. And again you have to ask the interviewer one more question, that is like, is this TNM project or fixed bid project? So once you start joining some company, or once you're planning to go for an interview, you have to ask two questions. What is the first one? What is the type of position, contract or permanent? Second thing here will be, what type of project, fixed bid project or TNM? TNM meaning, online people, TNM meaning time and material. Okay, time and material. Okay, so time and material in the sense daily wages kind of, ante kada. So roj కూలి కి కాంట్రాక్ట్ కి తేడా ఉందా? So what is happening, if the project type is on daily payments, TNM meaning time and material. So if it is like daily payments, what will happen? We will try to extend the work. No? Suppose if you wanted to construct one house, there will be two options for you. You can straight away give it for a contractor for fixed amount. And second type will be, you can just make it happen on the daily wages, right? From your perspective, what you will think? What you will think? So if we go for daily wages, then things will go slow and steady. So things will go slow. And their contractor, he can able to drag on the things. No? Maybe expected time is 1 year, he can still drag on the things to 1.5 year or 2 years also, just to get amount. No? And second type of project is like contract position. So here consider the same thing. So here the project may be, client might be paying you like a fixed amount, like contractor, like kind of. That is called fixed bid project or fixed billing project. And another type can be TNM, time and material. So if it is like fixed bid project, then client will say like, I will be giving you this amount and this is the time, that's it. This amount, this is the time, that's it. So within that time, this Capgemini should completely work on it. Okay, within that time, this has to be completely working on it. So here fixed bill project may be something like 100 million, consider $100 million, whatever. So in that scenario, Capgemini people, what they will think? To save this amount, they will think like better to load with less number of resources. No? For the 6 months, if they are loading with 10 developers, they have to be paying these 10 developers from this amount. Instead of 10 developers, why can't we maintain only 4 developers? So out of this, only for 4 developers we will pay, remaining it will be like a profit for them. No? Antena? So all the time fixed bill projects will be of huge pressure. అంతే కదా, ఫిక్స్డ్ బిల్లింగ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ will be of high pressure, because if I load my project with 10 resources or 20 resources, client will pay only fixed amount. So better to reduce the resources count, right? Instead of 10 members, why can't we maintain 3 or 4 members? That is what the company's perspective will be. So if you are joining one fixed bid project, you have to think twice. Okay, pressure will be more. Okay, fine. Suppose if it is TNM project, if client is paying you maybe on the time and material, meaning how many resources, and each resource per day this amount. If that is the scenario, your Capgemini people, they will try to increase the more resources, no? Ante kada. So if today I'm having 10 developers for this, if client is paying you for the number of resources, then Capgemini people or some consultant company here, what they will try to think, instead of 10, why can't we increase the count to 15, so that client will be paying for 15 members, no? Antena? Client will be paying for 15 members. So your Capgemini people will be getting huge profit by increasing the resource count. So if you join a company which is of T&M, okay, there will be much less pressure on you. Okay, chala pressure takku untundi ante kada. So there will be less pressure on that. So you have to ask two things in the interview, that is like what type of project, contract or temporary. Second one, is it like fixed billing project or T&M? So 90% projects are today with fixed bid only. Fixed bid only, because client knows that better to go with fixed amount instead of this kind of variable amount. So if he's saying like I'm ready to pay only this amount, just confirm whether you can do it or not. If not, some other company comes, they will accept for this amount. So client is very important here. So clients, everyone looking for budget, they are going only for fixed billing projects. Okay, fine. And that too, most of the positions today are contract only, that you might not understand today itself. So after this, you'll be just going for some kind of Naukri or somewhere for your profile floating, and there you'll be getting n number of calls. No one will say you that this is contract position. Even though it is contract, they will not say, because in India we don't like contract positions, no? Suppose if we join some company, their position is only of 6 months, will not join. Ante kada. Because after 6 months they will be releasing it, and we are supposed to search for one more job, and everything will be again with fresh mind. We have to analyze again all the things from the beginning, so we'll not encourage that generally. But whereas in the onshore places, maybe in the Western countries also, there they will be looking only for contract positions. So maybe from today, after 5 years or 10 years, every one of you will think of going to some onshore position. And once you reach there, your way of thinking or your mindset will be that you wanted to work only in the contract positions. Why? You'll be thinking of going working in only contract positions. In India, will not think of, because in India, we'll give more preference for security rather than money. We'll give more security things. So I want this company maybe for 1 year or 2 years. Maybe after that I'll switch to another company. There I have to at least work for 2 years or 3 years. So due to huge unemployment here, we'll be thinking of only security. But once you move out of India, your way of thinking will be like work only in the contract positions, because contract positions they will be paid high. Ante kada. Contract positions will be paid high. Okay, so if you join somewhere from US with some as an like a contractor, you will be paid around 3 times extra salary compared to your regular position. So their developer will join some company like a contractor for 1 year. After that, leave that company, join one more company like a contractor. Again, he will work for again he will get 3 times extra salary and one more. So likewise, their people what they are doing, if they are working for 5 years, if they are working for 5 years as a contractor, they can get an amount equal to 15 years salary. 15 years salary. So this is what happening. So that is the reason clients also want for contract positions only, and developers are also looking for contract positions. So from client perspective, I'll just hire him and use him for 6 months and leave it. Ante kada. Even developer way of thinking also same. So this is what. But in India, every one of us looks for security rather than money. So that is the reason we ask for permanent positions. Even the position type is uh, contract, they will not reveal that. That we have to understand. Fine. So finally, so there will be some kind of application structure designed by your business analyst. Okay. So there will be some kind of application structure. So this is framework one, and it might be having one more framework, and this might be having one more framework, and this again can have one more framework. This is implementation. This is one more, maybe this one more implementation. So your application structure can be with n number of frameworks also. So our Pega is not making mandatory for framework. It's up to you, but it is strongly recommended, right? So for every project, maintaining framework is strongly recommended. Okay, so if your structure is like this, so day one, you have to understand that this application is connected for this is for this one, this is for this one. Okay, and if you join or if you're trying to design this application, you have to understand that this is its framework one, and this is its parent, this is its parent likewise. So you have to get the structure for that. So this whole thing your business analyst will take care and will not bother. Okay, fine. By the time you join company as a Pega developer, all these things will be ready. So you not anything, all these things will be ready. So you will be joining somewhere to design this credit card application, or maybe somewhere to design this implementation application. Okay, so you will be given access for these implementation applications. Okay, so while designing this implementation application, if you feel reusable, you will be creating somewhere at the top, somewhere at the top. Suppose if you wanted to create somewhere at the top, generally I have seen like people asking for to give access for this one. So today day one, if your manager is asking you to design this credit card portal, he will be giving access for that. He will be giving you username and password for that. And based on that, you have to design. So in this scenario, if anything looks reusable, you have to create it the top level, right? Maybe in the framework. So you will not be given access for this framework separately. Okay, you will not be given access. You can straight away access this one, create the things in the above level also, and you can just check whether they are already created or not. So you can get complete access on all these things by default. So this looks common point for you, but some people even after joining company they'll say like, sir, I wanted to create something in the above framework, but I want password for that, can you please provide? That they'll ask, which is very very silly thing. Okay, you should not ask that. So each and everything is application. Framework is an application, implementation is an application, all these things. So if we wanted to develop something, you will be given access only for that application. And from there, you can access the above things also. I'll show all these things slowly. Okay, fine. So day one, once you join the company, you are supposed to log in and you have to get the business analyst document and design, right? And then, so today if you join company, then your manager, they will ask you to design something like this. What you will do? So you are supposed to first this get installed. So this is what actual or Pega tool is. Okay, so you can see something like login page here. So how do we get this login page? By installing some software. I'll explain that slowly. Fine. So here, once you get this page, you are supposed to log in with your username and password. So getting this page is common in our personal laptop as well as in your office laptop. And before this, So in my personal laptop, how did I get this page? By installing some software. So we have to get this downloaded and we have to install. For that there will be some process. So that is like your system should be Windows 10 or 11, or there should be some kind of 8 GB RAM. These things I'll explain, it's not a problem. So for this to be installed in our laptop, what you have to do, you have to just check for some prerequisites. And once you install everything, you'll be getting this login page. And you have to log in and you have to develop the things. That is what to be happening. And in the real time, process will be bit different. So in the real time, this installation process, all these things will not be there. Process will be bit different. So there, after that process, you will be getting the same page again. So getting this page is common in our personal version as well as in our enterprise. Office meaning enterprise, what we call. So from here everything will be same. Before that, installation concept will be different here as well as in the enterprise. That we'll understand slowly. So in that maybe in the real time, once you join company, so you have to get this page first, and then so you have to get this first page. So to get this page, what you will do? So to get this page, what you have to do? You have to get this URL, right? And then so you have to get this URL. So consider our personal edition. So in our personal edition, we have to download this software. After you download, you have to install it. Once you install, you have to run the server. I'll share the separate video for that for installation. So you have to install it. So once you install, what will happen? So there will be one black color window running like this. So there will be one black color window running like this. So this black color window is nothing but our server. In my laptop, one server is running up and this server is trying to load everything in the background. Load everything in the background. So once this server is running up, I'll be getting this page directly. I'm getting this page directly. So here we can see this kind of URL and we can just get this login page. But in the real time, there will not be any kind of installation concept. So there will not be any kind of installation concept. So day one, what you are supposed to do, you have to ask your manager to provide this kind of URL. Okay, day one, once you join the company, you should not carry your laptop asking for your manager for installation. Here installation should be done, but in the real time, after you join the company, you'll be getting one laptop, and in the laptop, this separate installation is not required. You should not ask them like, please provide 8 GB RAM or please increase the hard disk size. These kind of things you should not talk to them, because installation concept will not be there. Again, I'm saying there will not be any installation concept. You should not talk anything about installation there. So once you get the laptop, straight away you have to ask for this URL. So once you ask for this URL, you'll be getting this blue color login page. Once you'll be getting this blue color login page. And here you are supposed to log in and then you have to design the things. So this login, once you join company, you have to get your username and password, right? Meaning your manager, he will be giving you username and password also, and that technically to be called as operator ID. Okay, so your manager, he will be creating some username and password, and that is to be technically called as operator ID. So you will be logging here with your operator ID and password, and then you will be getting next screen, and there you have to drag and drop and design everything. So there you have to drag and drop and design everything. So this is what expected. So each and every person who is trying to log in here, he's a developer, sorry, he's an operator. So whoever is logging in here, he is an operator. And then is an operator, meaning there should be one operator ID created for them. So consider that there is 10-member team. Out of that, there is one manager and three developers and maybe four testers and remaining two deployment team or whatever. So everyone is trying to access our application, right? Maybe to develop or maybe to test or maybe to deploy whatever. So whoever is logging in our application, there should be operator ID. So operator ID should be there. So consider I am developer or consider I am a manager and person one is joining our company like a developer. So I have to create operator ID for him and marking it like an developer. So once he is logging in, next screen he has to get development related studio. No? Maybe second person, once he is trying to log in, okay, maybe he's a tester. Once he is trying to log in, then next screen what he has to get? He will not get development studio. He has to get output screen to test the things, meaning this operator id is tagged like a tester. No? Even though he will be getting same login page, once he is trying to log in, the next screens will be testing screens. And maybe third person something related to deployment, and they will also will get the same login page, and one operator ID will be created. And once we click on or once they are logging in, next screen might be related to their deployment related screens. So finally what we are supposed to understand, if for each and every person who is trying to log in, there should be one operator ID. So day one, your manager, he has to give this particular URL, and then he has to create one operator ID and password for you. So that you have to understand. So how to do this kind of installation and what will happen on the day one, once you log in, what will happen, these things again we have to see. Okay, so those things